Imagine this, you're leading the Spanish Grand Prix, you've driven the perfect race. The finish line is 3 laps away, and then silence. A $5 oil sea is leaked. Your engine seizes, your race is over. In 1975, this wasn't bad luck, it was a coin toss. Back then, Formula One was a game of attrition. We looked at the data from the 1975 season, and the numbers are staggering. Out of 333 cars that entered races that year, less than half made it to the finish line. The attrition rate was 52.3%. Compare that to 2025. Today, Lando Norris crossed the finish line, and we don't even blink. The attrition rate has dropped to just 10%. How do we go from a sport where finishing was a miracle to a sport where breaking down is a disgrace? This isn't just a story about faster cars, it's a story about how horror movie mechanics turned into sci-fi precision. To understand the danger of 1975, you have to look at the driver's feet. Back then, the driver was actually a mechanical part of the engine linkage. They called it the money shift. If you're doing 180 miles per hour and you accidentally shifted from third gear to first, and there was no computer to save you, you would instantly over-rev the engine and it would explode. The driver held the life of the engine in their foot. And it just wasn't the shifting. The cars in 1975 were so raw. They suffered from vibration fatigue. The engine shook so violently that fuel lines, bolts, and electrical connectors would physically fall off the car in the middle of the race. It was chaos. The car was trying to shake itself to death, and the driver was trying not to blow it up. Now, snap forward 50 years to 2025. What happens if a modern driver tries to do a money shift? What happens if they panic and hit the downshift paddle too early? Nothing. The car simply says no. This is the era of the electronic gatekeeper. Modern F1 cars use seamless shift technology that is baked into the software. If a command is dangerous to the engine, the computer ignores the driver. In 1975, the quality of the race depended upon human hands. In 2025, quality is protected by code. It's now physically impossible for a driver to blow up an engine with a bad shift. He went from human error being a constant threat to zero defect philosophy. So the driver is safe. What about the mechanic? In the 1970s, fixing a car was an art form. It was empirical guesswork. A mechanic would look at a piece of metal and check for bluing, a discoloration that meant the part got too hot. They used torque wrenches and feeling. Today, that feeling has been replaced by mission control. In 2025, the car has a nervous system. But here's the hook. What happens if a sensor breaks? The car hallucinates a new one. It's called virtual sensor. If a physical sensor fails on track, the car's AI looks at the data from the other sensors and calculates the missing data should be. The car creates a failsafe in real time. A 1975 mechanic needed a wrench. A 2025 mechanic needs an algorithm. But why? Why go through all this trouble? Because in 2025, a crash isn't just a bad day, it's a financial disaster. In 1975, if you crashed, you just hammered the metal back into shape. But today, teams operate under a strict cost cap of about $135 million. This changed everything. Reliability became a financial strategy. Every dollar you spend replacing a broken gearbox is a dollar you steal from aerodynamic development. This is why modern cars are designed with modular quality. Look at the nose cone. 2025, the nose is designed to shatter upon impact. It sacrifices itself to absorb the energy so the expensive chassis behind it survives. It's asset management at 200 miles per hour. Let's look at what happens on Monday morning. The race is over, the part is broken. In 1975, the part went into the bin. You bought a new one. You moved on. In 2025, that part goes to the lab. Teams now issue what's called a nonconformance report, or NCR. That broken part is flown back to the factory. It's put under a microscope. A team of 10 people will write a 50-page report to find out why a microscopic crack formed. They use a method called the 5 whys, digging down into the root cause so it never happens again. This is the difference between change the part and fix the process. This is how you go from 52% failure to 10. But the best engineers in 2025 don't wait for the car to break. They watch a ghost car. Every physical car on the track has a digital twin in the cloud. 300 sensors stream data in real time to a virtual model. The engineers can see a pre-failure signature before the driver even knows something is wrong. They can radio the driver and say, stay off the curbs or short shift into 5th gear. They are saving the engine from a death that hasn't happened yet. Compare that to 1975. Back then, the strategy was run to failure. You use the part until it snapped. Today, we use the part until the math tells us to stop. So we achieve perfection. But I have to ask, did we accidentally kill the drama? In 2025, we saw something that would have been impossible in 1975, the perfect race. In the Abu Dhabi finale, nearly the entire grid finished the race. Reliability is no longer a miracle, it's a baseline requirement. We have traded the drama of failure for the beauty of perfection. The cars are so reliable that when we see a DNF in 2025, like in Las Vegas or Sao Paulo, it's almost because of rain or a collision, external factors. The machines themselves, they just won't quit. When we look at the timeline, F1 didn't just get faster, it grew up. This is the story of a sport moving from Garagistas, guys in sheds welding metal, to aerospace firms. We moved from the manual machining to 3D titanium printing. We moved from stopwatches to processing 1,000 data points per second. And most importantly, we moved from accepting failure as part of the game to viewing failure as a mechanical impossibility. So here's my question. Do we miss the chaos of 1975? Do we miss the explosion, the uncertainty, the coin toss? Or do we prefer the science of 2025, where the cars are faster, safer, and nearly indestructible? Reliability is a hidden scorecard of Formula One. It's the battle between the mechanic's wrench and the digital twin. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, would you rather drive the raw danger of the 70s or the perfect machine of today?